It's the final week of the 2025 NFL regular season, which means there is one more opportunity to cash off a full slate of NFL football. Join the show that's hitting at over 70% in our last 5 weeks for our NFL Week 18 Best Bets and Props edition. Welcome, football fans, to another edition of the Degen Docs. What is up, folks? I am one of your hosts here, the Degen Doc, and more importantly, I am joined by my brother in degeneracy, Mr. Derek Bennett, aka Professor Locks. How are we doing tonight, brother? Week 18, one more week, baby.
Yeah, last regular season show. I mean, we've gone through the entire college football season. We've gone through the entire NFL season almost, but we do have one more opportunity, just like my Steelers do, to win the division.
I say one more week, like we're not going to be doing a show for the playoffs, and like we don't have so much more in college football playoffs, but it is the last week of a full slate. And listen, folks, this is the NFL Week 18 Locks and Props edition of the Degen Docs here. For those who are just joining us for the first time, cheers to you. And for those of you who have been coming back every single week, double cheers to you. Appreciate you folks hanging with us here. Look, this is what we got on tap for you today. We've got our usual NFL show, which will start with a little bit of a banter, talking about what happened in Week 17, do a little record recap. But then we're going to take a look forward at the playoff picture and really tell you what teams have to play for this week, because obviously that is going to matter in our handicaps moving forward. Then we'll move to our props of the week, where Derek and I will each give out 3 props, our favorite props. We went 4-2 last week there. And then we'll give out our best bets, or what we like to call around here, Doc's prescriptions. Bets we feel so good about, we are prescribing them to you. Each give out 4 there, and then we will end up with our Degen plays this week. Typically, we do a Thursday night football breakdown, but there is no Thursday night football in Week 18. So, might be a little bit of a shorter show. But who knows? The way we talk about football, we can't guarantee.
That's always a fair statement.
We'll see. It should be, but it feels like every time that happens, we still
should be. We probably should get done around 40 minutes, 45. It'll probably end up being an hour and 10 somehow.
But somehow, some way, because we love National Football League and cashing off the National Football League.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, Week 17, man. Let's start it off here. I'm going to say a couple losers of the week that I thought, and then I'd like to get your thoughts here.
Yeah.
I'll start off with my team, the New York Football Giants, because despite kicking the living shit out of the Las Vegas Raiders, I don't know why we do this every year. Now, granted, I think we do have the quarterback answered, so I'm not sure we need the number 1 pick, but for trading back for draft capital, obviously getting the higher pick is better.
Sure.
Nice to see Jackson Dart doing Jackson Dart things, but they do this every year, what they call these culture wins that have somehow not changed any culture over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Loser of the week for the Giants, and then the other one I'll throw out there.
Yeah, before you go, I would throw my Pittsburgh Steelers in with that and figuring out that, going back to that point, as far as, not tanking, but tanking. The Browns can't figure that out either, evidently. These culture wins that you're talking about, like, I don't know what the Cleveland Browns are doing, winning, by 7 in Week 16 when they've only gotten 3 wins throughout the year. But my Pittsburgh Steelers, their offense didn't have much of a pulse, missing DeQuarvius or whatever his name is.
DeCalin, I think it is.
DeCalin, whatever his name is. Quite a bit there up in Cleveland. So, we'll see.
Both our teams definitely squarely in the loser of the week. And I would also throw in the Lions and the Bucks. Lions got eliminated by Max Rosmer, and the Bucks lost to Quinn Ewers. I don't know how much more we need to even say on that. Just awful. But that does bring me to my next. If you didn't
bring it up, I was going to bring the Bucks up, because that one was a heartbreaker for us, with Bucks for the division.
Yeah, they're just bad. I don't know what to say at this point. The other thing I will say that kind of goes to all this, man, this NFL playoffs is wide open.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, I mean, it's
seating wise for sure.
usually like there's an idea of who's the best team,
Oh
who's
yeah,
the top 3 teams, whatever, top 2 maybe,
yeah,
but I have no idea. I
yeah,
mean, you could argue the entire NFC West between the Rams, the Seahawks, and the 49ers.
yep,
You obviously can't discredit the defending champion New Philadelphia Eagles as much as
yep.
I hate
That
them.
defense looked
That
real good.
looks disgusting. The Broncos, if they get home field advantage or
Yep, the Pats have just been rolling over everybody.
Drake may be the MVP. The Jaguars, I mean, like this is.
Pretty
I mean, it's
feisty
great.
down there in
Uh,
Duval.
as an unbiased bystander, not my fans squarely out of contention.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome. Now, I will say we just watched the LA Rams put up a bit of a stinker.
yeah,
I think we've been kind of, hey, the Rams are a good team, but I don't think they're world beaters. I think we've kind of sang that tune all season.
yeah.
Now, are you out on the Rams after Luke's collapse against the Seahawks and then that bad loss against the Falcons last night? Or Monday night, or where are you at with this Rams team? Are they still one of the favorites in your eyes? Just kind of curious where you're at with this Rams team.
Yeah, I mean, I would still put them in the top half of the playoff seeding.
Right.
Outside of the way that the NFL seeds in terms of division winners and then all the wild cards, I would still put them in the top 3 or 4
Yeah.
in contention for the NFC. But yeah, I mean they haven't looked nearly as good the last couple of weeks. Now,
Right.
the Seahawks, obviously, pretty damn good team.
Yep.
Trying to get the 1 seed there Saturday night. But this Atlanta Falcons team has been looking a little bit better over the last few weeks
They got
as
talent,
well.
man. It's talented.
Yeah, they just couldn't stop probably the best running back in the league in Bijan Robinson last night.
Right. And yeah, I mean, this Falcons defense is lighting up under 200. I mean, they're one of the best pass defenses in the league. And
Yep.
really the biggest thing is why I'm not completely out on the Rams.
And I'll give it to Kirk Cochains. I mean,
No sacks.
He's come in and they've won. I think
picks.
the last 3 weeks. So
yeah, he's been taking care of the ball. I mean, Bijan Robinson is an absolute stud. Shout out to him. Won me a fantasy championship where I will be getting a bottle of whiskey as a reward. Shout out to J Mark and Old Fashioned Fantasy Football. Check them out if you're in the fantasy streets. But
you can just send some of that on over here.
We'll see if I let you sample it. We'll see how you do this week on the picks. I'll let you know. All right. Hey, just quick on the Rams. I do want to point out that, yes, these last 2 weeks not been great, but I think there could be some value. They're still like the second favorites to win it all, so it's not like the market's gone too crazy. But if we get an opportunity, this may be something I come back to. The Rams last night were missing wide receiver 2, Devontae Adams, 3 linemen in Kevin Dotson, Rob Havenson, Alaric Jackson, a starting tight end, Tyler Higbee. They're starting nickel and Josh Wallace. They're starting corner and Darius Williams, and they're starting safety and Quentin Lake. And it's not like those guys like the 49ers are all done for the year. Mostly all of them, if not all of them, are expected back for the playoffs.
Yep.
So this team is still going to be a very talented Stafford playing well when he gets Devontae Adams, especially back, and his 3 starting offensive linemen. Watch out. That's all I'm going to say. Not ready to be completely out on the Los Angeles Rams. Now, obviously, no bye weeks this week, folks. Week 18 would be pretty silly to be there at that point. However, we will talk about last week from our record recap. Pretty quickly going through it. We finally, unfortunately, came back down to earth. We had been at a scorching hot pace, hitting almost 80% in the last month. Unfortunately, things kind of came back down. Monday or Thursday, that Thursday night Christmas holiday games, we kind of went pretty middling. We were about right in the middle, kind of maybe a little bit red, but overall pretty neutral. Then on the props, 4-2, including a 3-1 cash from yourself. Shout out to you, Harold Fannin. All he did was catch that touchdown. The
and
only
get injured on the same play.
Game. Yeah, he got he got injured in the first quarter after that touchdown. And
it was on the touchdown. He got injured, and he didn't play the rest of the game. Had a groin injury. I would be surprised if he suits it up against Cincy this week.
Yeah, so he went out. The last deed he did so far this NFL season was cashing your bet. So shout out to Fannin, although it did hurt the Lurs there. But 3-1 cash and 4-2, 4-2 overall on the props. So pretty damn green there. And unfortunately, not so great on the locks. Only 1-7. Shout out to you for hitting the one. We hit some bad beats, and it was just time after a sweep last week on the locks. It was time for a reverse sweep because that is how the National Football League works. So we are still, despite a down week, hitting at 70% in the last 5 weeks at 47, 20, and 3. So it's time to bounce back, get on the horse here, and that is exactly what we're looking to do here in NFL Week 18. And I want to talk about
we didn't do great with the locks, but we had a bunch of futures cash
correct
last week, which was nice.
Correct. We'll just hit some highlights. I mean, look, we every year, like we do, we go division by division, give out our bets for each team. 2 big ones came in. Chicago Bears, NFC North division champs, plus 550. I picked them as my NFC North winner there. And then we both gave out the Denver Broncos to win the AFC West at plus 330 over at FanDuel. That came home. We also both were on we were both not, but you're on the Texans. I'm on the Jaguars in the AFC South. It's going to be one of them. So one of us will be right. For me, selfishly hoping for a plus 310. And then we were both on the Steelers, which were around 5-1 in the offseason. The only other one that has a shot for big plays would be Jonathan Taylor, most rushing yards in the season. That's 10-1. I gave that out. He was leading up until this week. I think he's back by like 40 yards. So he needs to have a monster week, and James Cook needs to just not play and rest up for the playoffs.
But no, I mean, we, like you said, I did throw the Steelers division out there. I've kind of accidentally hedged going into this final, game of the regular season against the Ravens because yes, I have the Steelers division, but I also have a split in the series. Didn't necessarily mean for that to happen, but Steelers won the first one. For my fandom standpoint, I'm hoping the division one cashes for multiple reasons.
Yes, and going into that, let's talk about a sweat that I know I have that hopefully if you listen to us this offseason, you have as well. Now, I'm not completely there yet like Derek is, where he's going to win regardless, and he's coming down to one game. So in the offseason, like I talked about, gave out the Jags, the Broncos, the Bears, and the Steelers. If you were to parlay all of those like I did in the offseason when I made this bet in like August or something, it would pay out 524-1. Now, 2 of the 4 legs are there. The Jaguars just have to beat the Tennessee Titans, and that leg is there. And the Steelers, although they could have made it easy on me and just beat the Browns last week, they now have to be at home without DK Metcalf and play the maybe Lamar-less Ravens. We'll see there. But I will say Jags up first, and then it's going to be I'm going to be a big Steelers fan. You're a Steelers fan. My wife's a Steelers fan, so it should be pretty easy. But the terrible towels will be waving. It's going to be a nice 5K sweat on the line, hopefully, assuming the Jags take care of business. So don't want to be don't want to count the chickens or whatever the hell they say before get too excited.
Come on over to the good side. Here we'll go.
See. If the Jaguars get it done, you will see me being a massive Steelers fan. So I haven't even actually. I think once the Jags win, if they win, that's probably when I'll tell my wife about the bet and then see. I'll be like, hey, hon,
did you get your TJ Watt jersey in the mail? Is it's on the way?
Funny enough, you say that. My father got us both TJ Watt jerseys. Nice. My dad, also a Giants fan, decided that he probably wanted me to wear something that I can wear in public. So we both got Watt jerseys. So that's a great time to bring it back. Speaking of TJ Watt, optimistic that he will play in Week 18 for Tomlin. So, but all right, let's get into this week, and let's start with talking about what do these teams have to play for, because that is obviously going to matter. I'm going to throw up this graphic here talking about the playoff picture, and then I'm going to kind of rattle it off here. We'll start with the AFC. Look, number 1 seed is pretty simple. If the Broncos win, they get the number 1 seed. Or if the Patriots lose, as well as the Jaguars if the Jaguars lose too.
Right.
So really, if they get the Broncos win, they get the 1 seed.
Yep.
Which is nice because Justin Herbert will not be starting for the LA Chargers. So you got to imagine at home advantage Broncos. Patriots, if they win and the Broncos lose, they get the 1 seeds. The Jaguars, if they win and the Broncos and Patriots both lose, they get the 1 seed. Also, if they win, they get the division title, the AFC South. The Texans, if they win and the Jaguars lose, they win the AFC South and would bump up to the 3 slot there. And then the Texans, Chargers, and Bills, all with the same record at 11-5. We're just kind of playing for seeding, if that. Now, the Chargers have already said Justin Herbert's not playing with that broken hand. Let him rest. I think that's the right idea, especially in this year's NFL where there's not really a dominant team you're looking to avoid, at least on that AFC side. So I don't mind that actually from the Chargers there. I think that's a good move. I'm curious what the Bills are going to do with Josh Allen in that foot because he didn't look right. Any thoughts there on, if you were the Bills, would you sit him and, risk having to go play a Patriots team that you already beat at their house? Or would you try to play him and gun for that 6 seed, knowing the Chargers are sitting Herbert?
Yeah, no, I think I would probably go ahead and rest him. The thing about the AFC is we have a ton of unproven teams outside of the Bills, and the Bills have
Kansas City.
Exactly. There's so far no Ravens. There's no Kansas City.
No Bengals.
No Bengals. Right. So I think it's one of those things where you have the better quarterback in general in Josh Allen. And with him winning on the road, winning at home, it hasn't really mattered for the Bills for the most part, outside of playing Kansas City. I think I would rest him this week, have a fully healthy Josh Allen, and then travel up there to Foxborough.
Yeah, I mean, look, negative X-rays 2 weeks in a row is great, but he's clearly not 100%. I mean, that game, he barely ran, which he needed to against that Eagles defensive front. I mean, that was the difference in the game. Still came down to a 2-point he just missed. They would have won the game, which is kind of crazy to think about because they really were dominated for most of that game. But,
I don't think they scored until like 4:30 left in the game.
Right, yeah. And the fact that they were a 2-point that was wide open away.
And let's be honest. Who's it's Trubisky, right? Is the backup? I would probably still pick Trubisky going against the Jets.
At home. Yeah. With that running game. Yeah. And Brady Cook. Yeah. Honestly, we'll see what they do, but I really think they should rest him, but we'll see. McDermott's not always the best. That was decision-making there. And then on the NFC side, massive game Sunday night between the Seahawks. Saturday night between the Seahawks and the 49ers. Yeah. Oh, and then I don't know if I mentioned it, but obviously Steelers Ravens for the AFC North.
Oh yeah, that one's okay.
Well, I figured we talked about that one enough. My brain's ready to stop worrying about it. 1 seed on the line there for the Seahawks at the 49ers. Winner gets the 1 seed. Loser either gets the 5th or the 6th seed. If it's the Seahawks, they'll get the 5th seed. If it's the 49ers, they'll get the 6th seed if the Rams beat the Cardinals, which they should. And then Panthers Bucks, what we thought was going to be a winning in is now either if the Panthers win, they are in on Saturday afternoon game. They win, they are in. If the Bucks win, then they have to hope for a Saints to beat the Falcons.
Big Shuckle fans.
Yes, big Shuckleheads, as they call them. They need the Saints to beat the Falcons to then win that division, which honestly, the Bucks, the way they have finished this season, they do not deserve to go to the playoffs at all. I kind of, as much as, Bucks.
Kind of last season, too.
Yeah, that's a good point. But, man, this team is really falling off. Bears, if they win, they get the 2 seed. Or if the Eagles lose, Eagles, if they win and the Bears lose. Eagles talked about potentially resting some starters, reportedly. So we'll see. There was their thing. It worked last season, obviously winning the Super Bowl. And they do have a little bit of an older team. And then the Rams, with the win and a 49ers loss, they can get the 5th seed. If not, they are in the 6th seed. The Packers locked into the 7th seed there. So that is what they have to play for and what's going on this week. We'll get more into it as we do the breakdowns. Why don't we just go ahead and start with our props of the week here. I'll let you start off, my friend, as we always do. Where are you taking us for the first NFL prop of week 18?
Well, first I have to pull up the right thing because I thought I did and I didn't. But let's talk about the first week or the first game of week 18 here. Bucks and Panthers.
Okay.
I absolutely love this spot for Bucky Irving. I think it's one of those that, looking back just a couple weeks ago when they played, he rushed for, what was it, 71 yards on 19 carries. And I think for whatever reason, I don't exactly know how the Bucks have dropped off the face of the earth, because you would think they would be getting better with, getting some of their guys back, with getting
You would think.
yeah. So I think Bucky Irving had himself a decent day a couple weeks ago. I think they handed to him a lot in this one. Looking at the Panthers against running backs, they give up around 107 yards a game. And this number is almost half of that at 59.5. So give me Bucky Irving over 59.5 rushing yards. Just looking back through here, other than last week where he only got 9 carries, this would have hit the previous 2 weeks. So yeah, give me Bucky Irving over 59.5.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm going to stick with that game. Give me Ted McMillan on the other side over 58.5 receiving yards minus 110.
Okay.
Kyle, that's over at Bet365. Twofold here. Let's start with the Bucks defense. Has just been awful. Todd Bowles, I don't know what he does on the sideline, what purpose he serves in that organization. Supposed to be a defensive guy. His defense has been abysmal, especially down the stretch. They are bottom 10 pass defense, giving up 236.5 yards. Just last time they played, Ted McMillan went for 6 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. And starting cornerback Jamil Dean got banged up, left the game, not practicing today with the shoulder injury. And then other cornerback Benjamin Morrison with the hamstring, also not practicing. This cornerback Zion McCollum already on the IR. So that secondary, not only are they bad, they're very beat up. Ted McMillan is going to absolutely eat against them. He's Bryce Young's favorite target, even with the rookie. He's got size. He's got hands. I really like him in this matchup. I think he has the potential to really have a nice day. So give me Ted McMillan over 58.5 receiving yards, minus 110 against those Buccaneers. All right, what do you got for us next here?
Yeah, let's talk about the night game on Saturday. Give me Christian McCaffrey over 42.5 receiving yards in this one. Going way back when to the first game of the season, these two teams matched up, and he had 9 catches for 73 yards. He hasn't had as big of a role in the receiving game over the last month or so, but I do think that is one way that you can attack this Seattle Seahawks team. They give up around 38 on average, but they give up a ton of receptions to the running back position. So give me Christian McCaffrey to go over 42.5. I mean, George Kittle's a little beat up, got a little bit of rest this past week. But yeah, give me Christian McCaffrey over 42.5 receiving yards at minus 110.
Yeah, look, I like that, and I'm going to take that and kind of do almost correlated, and I'm going to take CMC under 69.5 rush yards at minus 110.
Yeah.
Bet 365. Last game, you talked about it. He had a better game in the receiving realm,
Yep.
Going for the 73 yards, but he only had 69 yards rushing on 22 carries. So it's not like the volume was not there.
Right.
This Seahawks defense, now that they're healthy, especially, one of the better. They're top 3 in rush defense, giving up less than 95 yards a game there.
75 to the running back.
Yeah, there you go. That is insane. And also, Trent Williams not practicing today, just came out with the hamstring. He's dealing with that injury. We'll see if he's able to go. I think that's very unlikely if he's going to be able to play 1 week off the hamstring. Also, we saw CMC a little bit banged up there with the back injury. He's not practicing today as well with the back stiffness. Now, I do expect him to be able to play, obviously, but, if he's going to get a little bit less carries, and you have Brian Robinson, who is an effective runner of the ball, and you can use CMC on those linebackers and safeties and get out there in some space. So maybe a little bit less between the tackles there, and they rely on Robinson, but also this is just a really tough defense to run on. So give me, no Trent Williams, a little bit of the back injury here. Give me CMC under 69.5 rush yards at minus 110. What is your third and final prop for Week 18?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Lions Bears game. Lions Bears game. And this is another division matchup. How I think all of the Week 18 matchups are division matchups, but going way back when to Week 2, the Lions threw the ball all over the Bears for 334 yards. I think as a whole, the Bears just gave up a shit ton to Brock Purdy and the 49ers. I don't think that Jared Goff is going to have as much luck as he did back in Week 2. In general, the Bears only give up around 230 yards through the air per game, and I think, yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I think going up against Ben Johnson, they put it to him the last time, and I think that they're just going to try to establish the run once again, and go at them more through the ground than through the air. So give me Jared Goff under 256.5 passing yards in this one at -110.
Yeah, coming off of that 6 turnover game, I don't think I'd let Jared Goff throw it a ton either.
Yeah,
is where I'm at with that one.
He did not look very good the last game. He's been playing pretty well over the last month, but I do think that he's going to regress back to the mean.
In cold ass Soldier Field too. We'll see.
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna go back to the Saturday night game. Give me JSN over 102.5 receiving yards over at DraftKings. It's a huge number because he's been on an absolute fucking tear this season. He's the leading receiver in the NFL with more than 1,700 yards in 16 games. He's been electric, dynamic, whatever you want to call him. Last time he went against his 49ers defense, which was healthier, he had 9 receptions on 13 targets and 124 yards. I think he's going to absolutely eat. I could see him having almost a 200-yard day because that is what people do against this 49ers defense, especially the less and less healthy they get. They are another bottom 10 pass defense, giving up almost 236 yards a game. The Darnold to JSN connection has been absolutely unstoppable. You have Renardo Greed out the past 2 games with a neck injury. Upton Stout, their slot guy, went into the tent last week with a concussion. We'll see if he's able to play. Obviously no Warner, no Bosa. I know the Ragtag group has been playing okay, but it's really that offense that's just kind of keeping that defense afloat. Right. Luther Burton had a massive game. So just imagine what JSN's going to do. I understand it's a high number, but I don't care. Give me JSN over 102.5 receiving yards at -110. All right, props of the week for Professor Locked. He's got Bucky Irving over 59.5 rush yards against the Carolina Panthers. In that same game, I've got Ted McMillan over 58.5 receiving yards against the Bucks. Locks has got Christian McCaffrey over 42.5 receiving yards at -110 against those Seahawks. I will be taking his under 69.5 rushing yards at -110. And then in that same game, give me JSN over 102.5 receiving yards against a porous San Francisco pass defense. And then we're fading Jared Goff here. Derek's got Jared Goff under 256.5 passing yards at -110 in cold ass Soldier Field. All right, moving on to the part of the segment where we give out bets that we feel so good, we're prescribing them to you. That's right. It is our Doc's Prescriptions Best Bets segment of the show. Why don't you kick us off, my friend? Where are you taking us first here?
Yeah, let's jump to Sunday. We've talked a little bit about both Saturday games yet, but we haven't talked much about any Sunday matchups. So let's start down in hot Atlanta, where the Saints travel to those Dirty Birds. I really like the Atlanta Falcons in this one. I think as a whole, their pass defense is one of the best in the league and can really slow Shuck down there. The Saints running game, not great, not awful, but that Atlanta Falcons offense has really been humming over the past 3 weeks with Kirk Cousins and Bijan Robinson. So, give me the Atlanta Falcons laying the 3.5. I think this is also a little bit of a hedge because we do have the Bucs in the division. And I do think that the Bucs end up winning that game and give themselves a chance. But I do think that the Atlanta Falcons can take care of the Saints here. So.
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious to see what Tyler Shuck does against that really good defense that just gave, they've given Josh Allen fits, Drake May fits, and now Stafford. So it's going to be a good test for the young rookie. I know a lot of people are saying he's the next big thing. All of a sudden Jackson Dart is nothing to folks, but hey, that's okay. So I'm curious, step up in competition, how he looks. I do think he's been having a really, really solid season.
Yeah.
All right, where I'm going to be going in this one, let's go to, I was going to say another division rivalry, but they're all division rivalries this week.
Yep.
So Green Bay plus the 6.5 at the Spaceship there in Minnesota.
Yep.
I don't care who the Packers are sitting or not playing. They're locked into the 7 seed, so there's a chance that they play a series, they don't play at all, yada, yada, yada. This is going to be either Max Brosmer or J.J. McCarthy with a broken throwing hand. So he had a hairline fracture in the throwing hand 2 weeks ago against the Giants. Didn't play last week on Thursday. They said it's progressing, but still swollen and still difficulties gripping the ball and all those things. So either I get an already turnover-worthy, turnover-prone J.J. McCarthy with a broken hand, or we get one of the worst quarterbacks that we may have ever seen in the NFL in Max Brosmer. So, yeah, this Packers defense is still pretty good, even if it's Clayton Tune. I think that Love and Willis probably will both get a little bit of run just so they're not coming off of being, extra. I mean, Love didn't play last week, so he's got to be out there and get some reps in, right? So we don't know exactly who Green Bay is going to roll out there, but this is purely a fate of either Max Brosmer or J.J. McCarthy. The Minnesota Vikings defense, as good as they've been, as aggressive as they've been, they're also very beat up. No Grenard, no Metellus. They've been putting on people on the IR almost every week. I think that the Green Bay and this offensive line and running game is going to be enough, whether it's Josh Jacobs or Emmanuel Wilson. I think it's going to be enough to potentially let them win outright. But definitely, laying 7 points with Brosmer or McCarthy, no thank you.
Yeah, no, I also like the Green Bay Packers in this one. And you mentioned it. I mean, whether it's Willis or Love, I'm taking both of them over either McCarthy with a broken hand or Max Brosmer. I think as a whole, I mean, the Packers have been reeling over the past few weeks, and I don't think that LaFleur is going to allow them to, roll into the playoffs losing 4 straight. So, with that being said, I don't trust Max Brosmer or McCarthy to win by margin. And if they do end up winning, I think the Packers are live with either Willis or Love. So, yeah, give me the Green Bay Packers and the 6.5 as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, where I'm going to take us next here. I promise this is not a homer pick because I don't want them to win this game. And I don't even know if they do. But give me the New York Giants team total over 23.5, minus 115 over at Bet365. Look, I was thinking about taking the over in this game in general. It's a high total. It's 51 or 52. But Dak Prescott is going to start. But then Jerry Jones said we'll see what we do with him from there. So he very much alluded to the fact he's probably not going to play the whole game. So I don't really want to mess with anything on the Cowboys side, except for that shitty-ass defense that they roll out. Their defense is terrible. Their defense has allowed 24 or more points in 11 out of 15 games this season.
Yep.
They let up 37 to the Giants and Russell Wilson early in the year. We saw what the Giants can do and Jackson Dart can do against bad defense. They put up 34 against the Raiders just last week. But this is simply a fade of this Dallas Cowgirls defense. They just cut Trayvon Diggs, Chavon Ravel, the rookie who was showing some promise. He was banged up and injured. They've got, kind of injuries all over the place. And even when they're healthy, this is such a bad defense that I think that to score, more than 24 points is very possible for the Giants, who will be trying for whatever reason. They seem to play their best ball when no one else freaking cares. So give me the Giants team total over 23.5, minus 115. Please score 24 points and lose by 30. All right, where are we going next?
Yeah, let's talk about the AFC South a little bit, and I'm going to double down on my Houston Texans. Give me the Texans laying the 10.5 here. I think I think that the Texans might blank the Colts, to be honest with you. I think as a whole, I don't necessarily know if Philip Rivers is going to have success or Riley Leonard
I
or
think it's Leonard.
whoever
Leonard
they end up throwing out there.
start.
I don't think either one's going to have success. And I think you can put 8 in the
Hard to
box
argue.
and close some doors for JT there. So I think as a whole, this Houston Texans team has been rolling over the past couple of months. The Colts are the exact opposite. And I think that both just continue on the paths that they've been on over the past 5 or 6 weeks. Give me the Texans laying the 10.5.
Yeah, Texans, man, they were looking like that under 9.5 wins was going to soar under, and they just have been on a crazy run here. Two teams going in opposite directions. The Colts now on at least a 6-game or 5-game losing streak, but might be worse. I mean, they started 8-1, and they're going to miss the playoffs, or 7-1, or whatever they started. So pretty incredible turn of events there. Okay, so where I'm taking us next is we're going out to the NFC West, and we are talking that Los Angeles Rams team that we talked before. Give me the LA Rams -4 first half spread -4 there. Look, this is Sean McVay said that this is kind of un-Sean McVay like, but he said the starters are going to play. Now, as we talked about, if Seattle wins, then the Rams, if they win, they go to the 5 seed and then would play the Bucs or the Panthers, which I think is incentivized. The NFC, there is some incentivization to play that 4 seed. But if the 49ers do win, then the Rams have nothing to play for. Yeah. So when he says the starters are going to play, because I think you prepare the starters to play, that's decisions made, early. Yep. I have a feeling he might pull them if he's excited. Like, he just basically wants to be either way, kind of bring some good mojo into the playoffs. That's kind of what he was talking about in the press conference there. So this Cardinals team is awful. I mean, they are on a massive losing streak, and they're getting blown out by teams. So I think what better than to have some target practice, whether you're playing for something or just playing to get tuned up for the playoffs, than going against this Arizona Cardinals defense that has been decimated by injuries. They have a ton of guys on the IR. Their defensive backfield is beat up. Their defensive line is beat up. They've got multiple safeties that are questionable for this game. Give me the Rams -4 in the first half. I think they get out to a big lead, and then whether they're in the rest of the game or they're pulling their starters, I like the first half here better than the full game. The Cardinals have also been kings of the back door this season, so I want to avoid all that. So give me the Rams first half. It's -4 over at Bet365 at -110. All right, last play for you, my friend. Where are we going here?
A last play for both of us because I'm going to go to the Lions-Bears game.
Interesting.
Sadly, I don't know if Ben Johnson knows about your 524-1 ticket because I think.
I don't need them to win for that.
I know, but that's true. That's true. But Dan Campbell is an absolute beast, and he still is a little. I think he still wants to get a little bit more revenge against Ben Johnson. He did it already at home, 52-21 way back when.
That wasn't enough?
It was an absolute beatdown of the Chicago Bears. I think that the Lions are going to be able to run the ball against the Bears. They absolutely crushed them way back in week 2, I think it was. I can't remember exactly. But, give me the Lions and the 3 points in this one. Their previous meeting, they only had 500 yards total. And I think that success continues against the Bears now that Dan Campbell is calling the plays directly against Ben Johnson.
Okay. Well, as much as Dan Campbell wants revenge, Dan Campbell is not putting on the pads. And Dan Campbell is especially not playing offensive line. And it seems like nobody's been playing offensive line for these Detroit Lions. I will be on the Chicago Bears -3, -105 over on DraftKings Bet365. You can kind of get this number anywhere. This is a situation where we have Jared Goff, without an offensive line, Jared Goff when he lacks confidence, Jared Goff when he plays outdoors, not something I want to be backing. That offensive line is not going to be magically saved as much as Frank Ragnow tried to do it with the torn hamstring come out of retirement. And Jared Goff is having turnover issues. And what better defense to play than a defense that just took a red hot Brock Purdy and had a pick six there and should have had a second interception if it wasn't for a stupid little flag that the refs decided to drop. But
you do know that the Bears got 2 turnovers in the first game and got beat by 31 points.
Understood. No Sam Laporta. Amon-Ra St. Brown is banged up. Their offensive line is banged up yet again. And now we're outside. We're in Soldier Field. We're not in that little dome there in Ford Field. Bears have revenge on their mind. Bears need this game for the 2 seed to guarantee, the potential for at least 2 home games in the playoffs. This is very big. This Bears team has been damn good of late. I think we can talk about 2 teams going in opposite directions here. I understand that they had 2 losses at San Francisco and at Green Bay, 2 playoff teams. Meanwhile, the Lions have lost 4 of their last 5, including their only win against Dallas at
3
home.
Playoff teams.
Yeah, well, we'll see if the Steelers can make it there. But and the Vikings, I don't know. That's just bad. Max Brosmer, there's no way I'm backing you after you had 13-point loss to Max Brosmer.
Got a little extra rest.
Yeah, we'll see. So no, I think that I understand that Dan Campbell's not going to have these guys quitting. They're just too hurt. Once Brian Branch left that defense, I think that was really kind of what let this all go downhill. The Steelers, they made them look like the best show on earth there. So we'll see.
Metcalf was still playing.
He didn't do a whole lot. He was busy arguing with the fans. So we'll see how you do there. So we will have a little lock battle to close it out here. Let's do a recap for Professor Locks there. Derek is taking the Atlanta Falcons minus the 3.5 to play spoiler to the Buccaneers and the Saints there. Houston Texans to dominate the who do they play? The Colts. Indianapolis Colts will be led by Riley Leonard. Then we've got the Green Bay Packers against Max Brosmer or J.J. McCarthy with a broken hand. And the Detroit Lions catching the 3 against the Chicago Bears. Now for myself, I'm also on the Green Bay Packers plus the 6.5. Whether it's Max Brosmer or J.J. McCarthy, the Vikings, very injured team. New York Giants team total over 23.5, minus 115 against a terrible, historically bad Cowboys defense. The LA Rams minus the 4 in the first half against the Arizona Cardinals. And then the Chicago Bears ending with a lock battle against Detroit and Jared Goff in Cold Soldier Field. All right, we're going to round it out with some fun here. Like I said, there is no Thursday night game this week. So we're going to end with our Degen plays as we always give out, but it'll be the finale here. Why don't we let you kick it off as always? What is your Degen play for week 18?
Yeah, I got a little 2-leg parlay starting with the first game. Once that hits, we got a nice long sweat until the last game of the weekend.
Okay.
I'm going to take Bucky Irving over 90 and over 90 rushing yards. I think he is going to get a boatload of carries, and that Panthers team does not play nearly as well on the road as they do at home. And this one is in Tampa Bay. So give me Bucky Irving at 90 plus rushing yards, and then give me Jaylen Warren to run all over those ratbirds of Baltimore. So give me Jaylen Warren over 70 rushing yards. If Bucky Irving rushes for 90, Jaylen Warren rushes for 70. Nice little 21-1 play.
Look at that. 2 legs, 21-1. Simple as that. Well, I knew we were going to have a little bit of a truncated show, even though we're still running up at our normal time because we love football. But
challenging to find props on a Tuesday.
Yeah, right. Trying to get this out early so Derek can enjoy his Buckeyes tomorrow night. We'll see. Check out our college episode if you want to figure out what side we're on there and the rest of the college football playoffs. But I've got 2 3-leg parlays, anytime touchdown parlays, one for Saturday and one for Sunday. Because like you, I am also a Degen who wants multiple days to sweat things out. So the first Saturday parlay, 2 games, 3 guys to score. First game, Mike Evans, anytime touchdown, insane price. It is plus 150. He has scored a touchdown in the past 2 weeks. Including against the Panthers. couple weeks ago. He should not be plus 150 ever to score a touchdown. He is their goal line back. T-Mac also scored a touchdown last times. The last time this team squared off.
Okay.
Plus 160 is him. I talked about Jamel Dean, no Zion McCollum, maybe no Benjamin Morrison. He is their favorite target and a big target there. So I do like him to find the end zone again. And then Mr. George Kittle coming back from that ankle injury. He is back at practice today. He is definitely going to go. The Maniac was even going to try to play last week. He scored in the first matchup in week 1 against this Seattle Seahawks team. I think he needs to come up big there at home in San Francisco, and I think he does find the end zone. So T-Mac, Mike Evans, George Kittle to score. That is for a simple 15-1, just over 15-1 there at plus 1525. And then that's the little teaser, the little appetizer for Saturday. And then the main course on Sunday. I'm going to focus on 2 games here as well. Like you, I like that last game, but where I'm going to go is for the Steelers. I like 2 guys to carry the offense like they've been doing. Kenny Gainwell to find the end zone. He's just been an absolute machine, whether he's catching 80 yards bombs down the field or whether he's running around. Like, he's just a dual threat, both on the ground, through the air. I think they need to feature their running backs in this game to have success. And then no Darnell Washington, no DK Metcalf. They do have to figure out something through the passing game. Give me Jonnu Smith anytime touchdown. We saw him a couple weeks ago against Detroit and line up in the backfield and take a halfback toss. We'll see. I mean, Arthur Smith has to be creative. They had been very well doing creative and doing things, being creative and doing different things. With no DK Metcalf against a bad Ravens defense, you have to be creative and aggressive. So I like both those guys to score. And then a guy who has scored in 4 out of the last 5 games, all he does is either not make a catch or catch touchdowns. Mr. Isaac Tesla to find the end zone there. The dude has an incredible catch radius. He's made some insane catches. Jared Goff has just trusted him more and more, especially around the red zone. So this will be the one piece of Lions that I'm rooting for on Sunday. I will give you that. But 2 games, 3 guys to find the end zone. Kenny Gainwell, Jonnu Smith, and Isaac Tesla all to score, and a simple 59-1 plus 5840. All right, my friend, that is it. NFL Week 18 dissected, figured out. We got in the lab, and we've cooked up some winners, hitting at a 70% rate on bets and best bets and props in our last 5 weeks here in the NFL. We are all the way dialed in, and coming off just a couple weeks ago, hitting one of these Degen parlays for a 34-1.
That's right.
We'll run it back, baby. So let's see how we fare this week. What do you got for the people before we get on out of here?
Yeah, I mean, we did our college episode probably a week or so ago. But yeah, those games are coming up tomorrow, Thursday. Make sure you check that out to get on those bets leading into the college football playoff world. I'm assuming that you're still doing your injury report show. No,
I don't know. Actually, I got to check. Let me check with the bosses. Maybe it was fantasy focused.
Yeah,
we'll see.
True. That's true.
If you do want injury stuff, you can go ahead and follow me on X at the Degen Doc. I always post injury stuff, whether it's college or NFL. We'll see if we do an injury report over on IDP Plus. But fantasy season is over, so I'm not sure what we're gonna want to do there. But what's not over, college football playoff, like you mentioned, recorded that episode actually over the weekend. So that came out, I believe, on Friday. Games start tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it's a weird schedule this week. So make sure if you've been all over Christmas and everything, go check that out. Let's go get some winners. The winning starts on Wednesday, goes to Thursday, then Saturday and Sunday with the NFL. If you want to win, come check out the shows. 100% free. Always will be. We just ask for one small thing. Like and subscribe on the way out. We appreciate you folks. You guys have been crushing it this year. We've had a ton of fun this NFL season. So next episode, we'll do the wild card stuff. Then we'll go through some of what how we did in the futures market and kind of have some more fun there. But very excited to get into the playoffs. And anything else to wrap up this NFL regular season?
Go Steelers.
We're going to be... assuming the Jags win, look, I'm going to root for the Steelers either way because happy wife, happy life. But if the Jags win, this household is going to be massive Steelers fans. So, you know what they say, folks. A lock a day keeps the bookie away. And here at the Degen Docs, we've got your prescription. From Professor Locks and Doc here at DFSG Plus, we are out of here.